All right, so we're gonna compare kitted chainsaws that you can get for under 500 bucks. We're gonna pit these guys up against each other. So this Ryobi comes with an 8 amp hour battery. It's $479, 20-inch bar, 40 volts. This is a 60 volt Greenworks. It comes with a 8 amp hour battery, and this is $449. And then this is the Ego, comes with a 6 amp hour battery, and this is $499. Both these two saws use a low profile 3/8 chain. This uses a regular profile, and it's a 325 pitch. They're all 0.050, and the weights are 16 pounds 1 ounce, 20 pounds 2 ounces, and 19 pounds 1 ounces. So the Ryobi is substantially lighter. Let's do some cutting and see how these saws compare with each other. All right, that's the Ryobi. The battery is, I believe this is overheated. That is, with the two lights flashing like that. But it was almost dead anyway. Battery's overheated. Now the battery's hot. All right, now this battery overheated. All right, we got this log here. We're between 17 and 18 inches, and the batteries are all fully charged. I'm going to give it another torture test, and we're going to see how many straight cuts a battery can make in this thing. Okay. I'm all done with this thing. We've seen what it can do. That's all I'm doing. The battery is showing 2 bars left. Here's our 60 volt, fully charged. All right, that's it for that. And The battery has 1 bar left. I believe I overheated the saw. There you go. And we're done. There it is. So I figured, hey, I got this pretty good sized log up here. I've been doing some cuts. Why not throw a couple of other chainsaws at it? So I can't guarantee the sharpness of the chains on these other saws, but I figured while it was there, I'd just throw a few cuts on it for people to see. This Husqvarna 372 XP actually has a 24-inch bar on it right now. All right, conclusions and my take on after using these, because there's some stuff that you guys can see clearly, and then there's other stuff that you get more of a feel from using the saws. So obviously the Ryobi is considerably the least powerful cutter, and using it like I did, it got heated up the most. And again, I want to say I'm abusing these kind of hard. Like I'm pushing on the saw as much as the saw will take and still cut at a good speed. So the use is a lot harder than should be under normal use. But that's for the benefit, right? So anyway, the Ryobi was obviously the least powerful. I still got quite a few cuts on it, and it's an efficient cutter. So if you were going to, you wanted something that was lightweight on smaller wood with an occasional big cut to take advantage of that 20-inch bar, it's a great saw. I didn't have really any problems with it. The tensioning thing's a pain. But I mean, to me, it's not enough to like be a deal breaker. It's the only one that doesn't have captured nuts, and I really like captured nuts on the cover. But again, decent saw overall. I didn't mind it. People have said they had problems with the thing leaking. So far, I didn't notice a problem with the thing leaking. Actually, the Greenworks, probably you can see there's some oil on the bottom of that. That's leaking a little bit of oil. This overall, the Greenworks overall is a nice cutter. I think it's pretty heavy. It has the most battery behind it, and that second piece of wood, the 17 to 18 inch. I don't even know what it was, but it was dry as a bone, and it was like cutting concrete. Like you think to yourself, like if you're gonna cut wood, like dry, it'll be the easiest. It like cutting not dry wood is easier, at least with a lot of these saws from the stuff I've been cutting. That was one of the hardest pieces of wood I had to cut. It just, I don't know, it was like cutting concrete. But this, I got a fair amount of cuts. I actually, it's the first time I've overheated the saw on this. The first log, I was able to get quite a bit more cuts out of this than anything else. But on that second log, the Ryobi and the Greenworks each got 7 cuts. And I could have cut more with the Ryobi. It wasn't done. It was hotter. It kept shutting down. I was at over a minute per cut, and it was too frustrating for me to want to use. So I stopped. This would have kept cutting, but it kept cutting out, and it would have gotten worse and worse, and I had had enough. And presumably you would have too. So keeping that in mind. And the Ego I got on the tough log, I got just shy of 6 before it quit. This definitely cuts the most aggressively of the 3 saws. And the big thing to keep in mind on all 3 of these, like, they come kitted. I tested them just as they came. I didn't try different chains. And I found that with these electric saws, sometimes a chain will make a huge difference, particularly with this one where it's running it's not running a low profile. There's a lot more options for that. And I've had real good luck with the Husqvarna X-Cut chains. So that's part of it. But anyway, these 2 saws came with the max battery. Like, this is the biggest 60-volt battery you can get. This is the biggest 40-volt battery you can get from Ryobi. This is a 6-amp battery from Ego. You can actually double the capacity. So I did have the battery overheat, but sometimes when you go bigger, you don't have as much trouble. And like I said, I was really working these saws. But I think, this has a lot of potential. Again, you're getting heavier. The 8-amp isn't much heavier than the 6-amp. Sometimes there's a big difference, sometimes there isn't. But I have tested this previously, and I did get quite a few more cuts out of it with the 8-amp battery, and it was less than a pound of weight gain. So I would say that would be pretty worth it. I don't know if the 10 and 12, if the weight difference would make a difference, but I'm just saying the Ego has options. These 2 this is the most you can get, like, as you saw it tested. So that's a thing to consider too. As far as I like this cover plate the best of any of them. The captured nuts are the slickest. Like I said, this one leaks a little bit of oil. Actually, I like the bar on this too, and the chain is a normal chain. Like I said, this is a 325. The other 2 are 3/8 low profile, but there's a lot of options with this chain. I just like the bar a little bit better. It feels a little bit sturdier cutting. But that's a small thing, and this was nice. And then the other thing with these, and it's just a little thing, but it's a safety thing, and it depends on what your outlook is on it. But all 3 of these saws, right? You put the battery in. If you take the chain brake off, like I have it sitting here with a chain brake, but the Ryobi and the Ego are hot as soon as there's a battery in it. So if the chain brake's not on, and it's a 2-step, so you pull and pull, but it's on. If that battery's in it, that thing's hot. With the Greenworks, it's not. There's a button you push to turn the power on, and it'll stay on for like a minute or so, but if you let the saw sit for too long, it shuts back off. And it's not a big deal. To me, I like this better. It just feels a little bit safer because I have to turn it on for it to be hot. And I kind of like that because then I can turn it off and I don't have that risk. And of course, you put the chain brake on and then you're protected with any of these, but I do like that. And it's not like something you have to mess with after it's running. As soon as you take your finger off the trigger, it's just you turn it on for it to be on. Like I said, after a minute or 2, it'll shut off and you have to turn it on again. But I like that extra safety built into it. But overall, I think the Ego, you get a lot of saw for the money, and it's built into the whole Ego ecosystem. And again, for most of these, the differences is the saw as well. This one's a little bit different, but these 2, it's like whichever ecosystem you're in for batteries, that's the way you want to go. But hopefully this helps you. If you're looking at these saws, make a decision. Thanks for watching.